Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new legal breaking reporting video analysis update. As you all may know, California has recently, rightfully, legally, constitutionally, and lawfully banned most law enforcement officers. This includes federal immigration and customs enforcement officers from being able to wear masks while conducting immigration raids. Let's take a look at this new reporting. The reporting is by New York Times, but it's via Google is where I'm going to read it to you guys from. Let's take a look, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, as you all may know, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill that bars federal immigration agents and other law enforcement officers from wearing masks while on duty, making it the first state to implement such a ban. The legislation, ladies and gentlemen, just so you all are aware, aims to promote accountability and public oversight, particularly after incidents of masked federal agents during immigration raids. The law, ladies and gentlemen, is the third sentence to the paragraph I'm going to read to you guys. Has drawn criticism from federal officials who argue it endangers officers. That is completely bullcrap, ladies and gentlemen, and so not true. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if it's such a danger to officers, why the hell are they conducting these unconstitutional arrests? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to read you the details of the ban. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, the scope. The ban applies to most law enforcement officers, including, note, ladies and gentlemen, including federal immigration officers. This means that it does not exclude, which means not including. It includes federal immigration officers. So I don't care what the hell you Trump MAGA loyalists say. It involves federal immigration officers. Including federal immigration agents, while they are conducting official business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, certainly there are exceptions, but this does not mean that the law is going to go away, ever. Those exceptions are, ladies and gentlemen, the law does not apply to undercover agents, medical masks like N95, or other safety devices such as face shields or respirators. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, this does not mean that federal immigration officers, including federal agents, can go around impersonating, medical personnel, or they can be arrested. They being the federal immigration agents, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the purpose. Supporters of the bill, like Senator Scott Weiner, say it was a response. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I almost said purpose, but I re-corrected myself and said response to masked raids and aims to prevent secret police from operating in communities and spreading fear. Governor Newsom stated the law will foster transparency, accountability, and public oversight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to reactions and criticisms, federal oppositions. Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs for the Department of Homeland Security, called the law despicable and a flagrant attempt to endanger our officers, inciting concerns. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Citing concerns about officers being doxxed and assaulted by violent individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into Governor Gavin Newsom's stance on this matter. Governor Newsom dismissed these claims, stating there's no evidence of an exponential increase in assaults and that concerns are based on misinformation and misdirection. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into these possible legal challenges, which more than likely these legal challenges will not be won by the Republicans. Constitutional law experts anticipate a legal challenge over whether California has the authority to regulate federal agents in this manner. Though states can require federal agents to follow general laws that don't impede their federal duties. Which, ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, this law will not impede and does not impede federal agents from doing their job. It's just pretty much saying that they cannot hide any of their identity. Continuing, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are moving on to context. The legislation was signed amidst a backdrop of increased immigration enforcement actions and a Supreme Court ruling that allowed federal agents to resume immigration stops based on factors such as ethnicity and language. The ban is part of a broader package, ladies and gentlemen. I almost said backage, but I corrected myself there. Of bills signed by Newsom to provide protections for immigrants and residents from aggressive federal tactics. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this legal breaking reporting video analysis update. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting video analysis update, please firstly like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Secondly, if you would like to make sure you're always up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please follow me on my social medias that'll be linked in the video description below. You guys can also do so by hitting the bell icon as well as the all notifications option. The bell icon is located directly beneath the screen here on the right hand side of the subscribe button. Please help me, furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, reach and achieve the goal of 280 plus subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm saying 280 plus subscribers is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 280 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve. Right after we reach and achieve the goal of 280 subscribers. As always, ladies and gentlemen, please look out for my next legal breaking reporting video analysis update. And as always, I will look forward to talking to you all in my next legal breaking reporting video analysis update.